What's up guys, Enrique here from Novation, bringing you our new 8-voice polyphonic synthesizer Peak here at MoogFest 2017. To give you guys a quick rundown, it's a 3-oscillator, 8-voice polyphonic synth ran by NCOs, numerically controlled oscillators, whereas most digital synths run at 44 kilohertz, these are at 24 megahertz, followed by analog VCA, analog filter, and 3 analog overdrive circuits. And after that, it runs in parallel with our amazing DSP effects. We have a reverb, a chorus, and a delay. And we also have a true bypass if needed. The same NCOs that are generating the oscillators are also generating the LFOs as well as the envelope. So it's a really nice analog in nature when playing. So inside these 3 NCO oscillators, we also have a more button. And what the more button does is allows you to access a ton of different wavetables, and within each of those wavetables, the shape amount knob goes smoothly between 5 different states of that wavetable. So you get wavetable synthesis as well as linear FM from oscillator 3 to 1, 1 to 2, and 2 back to 3. We can even do cool things like noise into 1 or send noise to the filter. In the filter section, you even have a dedicated oscillator 3 filter mod, which allows you to send oscillator 3's signal to the filter. And even then, you can dive deeper into the oscillators and voicing menus to then set oscillator 3 in a fixed note, really low, and have almost like this weird 8-voice LFO effect on the filter. So with all these great features, we even introduced an arpeggiator. And inside the arpeggiator, you have 32 different sequences. You have swing, sync rates, and slew and glide time. You even have this dedicated gate knob, which is really great to get really staccato sounds or blend it fully open. On top of that, you have 4 banks of 127 patches each, equaling up to 508. You can easily overwrite any of the patches you want. A great, really simple initialize button to get you started from scratch if you like, or you can easily browse through all the patches. On top of that, we got these 2 animate buttons, which are kind of like a macro control that you can then set in the mod matrix to do whatever you would like. So on this patch right here, we have a simple signal coming from circuit, Synth 2 sending a little MIDI chord progression, and we'll hear that just right now. So I'm playing a simple beat out of circuit here. It's just going to be this little chord sequence, just so I can tweak around on the Peak itself. Here we have our 3 oscillators. Right now we're just listening to oscillator 1. You have a bunch of different shapes, pulse, more, which then you can go through our different wavetables, a ton of different ones. We even have organ, E-piano, vocal, vox, winds, a ton of different kinds that you can select from. Of course, your classic sine, as well as your triangle. Another note is that between all of these, you have wavetables. If I open up the analog filter here, this is just a normal triangle wave, but you can hear how much change you have between it. The 3 sources that you can then select to modulate the shape amount are all independent. So we can say I want to start here in the manual mode, I want mod envelope to go positive, and I want the LFO to go negative. Go ahead and turn all of these off. To go and focus, again here, we'll leave it at the sawtooth. Here we have our analog filter. Go ahead and close this down a little bit. In here, like I mentioned before, we can set oscillator 3 to be in a really low mode and then have it affect our filter cutoff by turning this up. You can almost hear it's similar to FM. To show off our FM, in the mod matrix, you select a destination, and the destination we'll choose is oscillator 3 to oscillator 1, and you tell it by how much. Right away, you can hear some new tones coming up. Go ahead and turn that off. Open up the filter again. You have a pre-filter overdrive, which you can then smash down with the filter. And you have a post-filter overdrive. We'll turn those back down. There's also a third overdrive circuit here in the voice menu. To show our effects, we'll turn the level up of the reverb. Let me open the filter again. time. Change the time. You can hear the room expanding as we open up the reverb depth. We'll turn that back down. Open up the release on the amp envelope to let it ring out a little more. Turn on the chorus. You can hear how wide it gets. You can change the rate. We have 3 different chorus types as well. Turn that back down. Let's check out the delay. I'm going to shorten up the reverb. Change the time. Open up the feedback. Let it ring out a little longer. We'll close that down. Let me close the filter and we'll assign the animate button to do something. So in the mod matrix, we'll say slot number 2, destination. Let's select filter frequency. By how much? We'll end here. Then on the second page, you can say I want the source to be animate 2. Right away, you can see that animate 2 lights up. If I press animate 2, you can see it only happens when I hold it. And if you do like that sound, you can easily press hold and it'll stay held. Now the filter is acting upon the plus 35 as well as animate. So if I turn that off, you hear how closed it gets. To show the arpeggiator, we'll turn that on. And if I key latch it, there's a gate amount, fully open, really closed, and this also plays off of where your sustain and decay is set in your amp envelope. There's a bunch of different rhythms. If we hit the arp and clock menu, we can say what type you want to go down. Maybe you want to go up and down. What's the rhythm? Maybe 3. Open up the release, let it ring. Give it a little bit of reverb. Maybe send the amp envelope, which is also opening up the amplifier, to the filter. Turn up the resonance. Then you even have this awesome feature, swing. You can hear how much it's shuffled. If you're interested in more information about the Novation Peak, make sure to stop by your local Guitar Center or check out guitarcenter.com.